Welcome to the Bible Quiz. In this video, let's embark on an intriguing exploration of the life of Mordecai, a significant and compelling figure in the biblical narrative. Mordecai's story unfolds within the book of Esther, offering us a glimpse into a life marked by courage, strategic wisdom, and unwavering devotion to his people. Mordecai faced formidable challenges, from navigating political intrigues to confronting the sinister plots of Haman against the Jewish community. Join us on this captivating journey as we unravel the layers of Mordecai's life. Discover his pivotal role in the salvation of the Jewish people, his resilience in the face of adversity, and the profound lessons embedded in his experiences. To deepen your understanding, we've crafted 25 interactive multiple-choice questions that will not only test your knowledge, but also make your exploration enjoyable. Let's get started. Question 1. From which tribe was Mordecai descended? A. Levi. B. Benjamin. C. Judah. D. Ephraim. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Benjamin. Esther, chapter 2, verse 5. Now there was in the citadel of Susa a Jew of the tribe of Benjamin, named Mordecai, son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish. Mordecai, a descendant of Kish, was from the tribe of Benjamin. This lineage is significant in the context of the biblical narrative, as it played a role in shaping Mordecai's character and his actions throughout the story of Esther. Question 2. Which king of Babylon was mentioned in connection with Mordecai's exile? A. Cyrus. B. Belshazzar. C. Nebuchadnezzar. D. Darius. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Nebuchadnezzar. Esther chapter 2, verse 6. Who had been carried into exile from Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, among those taken captive with Jehoiachin, king of Judah. Mordecai was taken into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Question 3. What was Mordecai's relationship to Queen Esther? A. Cousin. B. Uncle. C. Brother. D. Father. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Cousin. Esther, chapter 2, verse 7. Mordecai had a cousin named Hadassah whom he had brought up because she had neither father nor mother. This young woman, who was also known as Esther, had a lovely figure and was beautiful. Their close relationship played a pivotal role in the events of the book of Esther, showcasing the significance of family bonds in the unfolding narrative of salvation for the Jewish people. Question 4. What warning did Mordecai give Esther before and even when she became queen? A. Be humble. B. Avoid the king. C. Hide her identity. D. Avoid Haman. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Hide her identity. Esther, chapter 2, verses 10 to 20. Esther had not revealed her nationality and family background because Mordecai had forbidden her to do so. This strategic advice became crucial when Haman, a foe of the Jews, ascended to power. Mordecai's wisdom protected Esther and contributed to the eventual salvation of the Jewish people. Question 5. How did Mordecai save the king's life? A. He healed the King Xerxes. B. He predicted an assassination. C. He fought in a battle to save King Xerxes. D. He uncovered a conspiracy to assassinate King Xerxes. You get 10 seconds. That's D. He uncovered a conspiracy to assassinate King Xerxes. Esther, chapter 2, verses 21 to 23. During the time Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, became angry and conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. But Mordecai found out about the plot and told Queen Esther. Mordecai's timely revelation not only saved the king's life, but also set in motion events that would later play a crucial role in the salvation of the Jewish people. Esteemed pal, stay in the know and never miss a quiz again. Hit subscribe and be the first to catch all the excitement. Question 6. What happened to these conspirators named Bigthan and Teresh after Mordecai reported their plot? A. They were impaled on poles. B. They were pardoned. C. They were banished. D. They were imprisoned. You get 10 seconds. That's A. They were impaled on poles. Esther chapter 2, verse 23. And when the report was investigated and found to be true, the two officials were impaled on poles. Mordecai's timely report of the assassination plot led to the capture and subsequent hanging of the conspirators, Bigthan and Teresh. Question 7. What did Mordecai do that made Haman enraged? A. Mordecai insulted Haman openly. B. Mordecai revealed Haman's secrets. C. Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman. D. Mordecai challenged Haman to a duel. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman. Esther chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. When Haman saw that Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor, he was enraged. Haman, expecting deference, was incensed when Mordecai refused to bow. Question 8. Why did Mordecai refuse to bow to Haman? A. He was a Jew. B. He didn't like Haman. C. Haman was younger than him. D. Haman owed him money. You get 10 seconds. That's A. He was a Jew. Esther chapter 3, verses 1 to 4. Day after day they spoke to him, but he refused to comply. Therefore they told Haman about it to see whether Mordecai's behavior would be tolerated, for he had told them he was a Jew. Mordecai, as a Jew, adhered to his faith's commandments, refusing to bow down to anyone but God. This detail highlights his unwavering commitment to his religious principles, even in the face of pressure. Question 9. What was Haman's plan regarding the Jews due to the offending of Mordecai? A. Expulsion. B. Annihilation. C. Taxation. D. Enslavement. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Annihilation. Esther, chapter 3, verse 6. Yet having learned who Mordecai's people were, he scorned the idea of killing only Mordecai. Instead, Haman looked for a way to destroy all Mordecai's people, the Jews, throughout the whole kingdom of Xerxes. Haman, fueled by his anger towards Mordecai, devised a wicked plan to annihilate all the Jews in the Persian Empire. Question 10. What did Mordecai do when he heard about Haman's plan to kill the Jews? A. Cursed Haman in the street. B. Went to plead with the king. C. Burned down Haman's house. D. Put on sackcloth and ashes. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Put on sackcloth and ashes. Esther, chapter 4, verse 1. When Mordecai learned of all that had been done, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and went out into the city, wailing loudly and bitterly. Mordecai's poignant act highlighted the gravity of the situation and his deep concern for the fate of the Jewish people. Question 11. Who helped Mordecai deliver his messages about Haman's plan to Queen Esther? A. A king's eunuch. B. A female attendant. C. A royal guard. D. A wise sage. You get 10 seconds. That's A. A king's eunuch. Esther, chapter 4, verses 5 to 17. Then Esther summoned Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs assigned to attend her, and ordered him to find out what was troubling Mordecai and why. A king's eunuch named Hathach played a crucial role in facilitating communication between Mordecai and Esther. Question 12. What specific way did Mordecai request Esther to do in the face of Haman's plan? A. Expose Haman's plot. B. Flee from the palace before she was discovered. C. Enter the king's presence and plead for her people. D. Remind the king how faithful Mordecai had been. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Enter the king's presence and plead for her people. Esther, chapter 4, verses 7 to 8. He told him to instruct her to go into the king's presence to beg for mercy and plead with him for her people. Mordecai urged Esther to enter the king's presence and plead for her people in the face of Haman's plan. Question 13. What warning did Mordecai give Esther if she did not help her people? A. God would slay the king's firstborn. B. God would judge between her and Mordecai. C. She would be exiled from the kingdom. D. She would be responsible for the death of her family. You get 10 seconds. That's D. She would be responsible for the death of her family. Esther, chapter 4, verses 12 to 14. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Mordecai conveyed the potential consequences to encourage Esther's courage. He emphasized the urgency of her role in pleading for the Jews. Question 14. What did Mordecai do to encourage Queen Esther to accept to go into the king's presence to plead for the Jews? A. Offered Esther a reward. B. Revealed Esther's identity to the king. C. Threatened Esther with punishment. D. Carried out all of Esther's instructions. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Carried out all of Esther's instructions. Esther, chapter 4, verse 17. So Mordecai went away and carried out all of Esther's instructions. Mordecai encouraged Esther by obeying all her instructions, demonstrating his support and trust in her decision to approach the king. This act of obedience and support helped to strengthen Esther's resolve to take the courageous step of interceding for her people. Question 15. How did King Xerxes learn that Mordecai exposed the men who plotted to assassinate him? A. Through a eunuch. B. Through the book of the Chronicles. C. Through Esther's suggestion. D. Through Mordecai's narrative. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Through the book of the Chronicles. Esther, chapter 6, verses 1 to 2. That night the king could not sleep, so he ordered the book of the Chronicles, the record of his reign, to be brought in and read to him. It was found recorded there that Mordecai had exposed Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, who had conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. Question 16. How was Mordecai honored after King Xerxes learned that he had saved his life? A. Placed a royal crest on head. B. Rode on the king's horse. C. Brought a royal robe the king had worn. D. All of the above. You get 10 seconds. That's D. All of the above. Esther chapter 6, verses 7 to 11. King Xerxes, upon learning of Mordecai's pivotal role in saving his life, chose to honor Mordecai in a grand manner. This included placing a royal crest on Mordecai's head, having him ride on the king's horse, an emblem of royal favor, and adorning him with a royal robe worn by the king. This extraordinary recognition underscored Mordecai's newfound status and highlighted the reversal of his fortunes. Question 17. What did Mordecai receive from Xerxes after the death of Haman? A. Xerxes' signet ring. B. A royal wreath from the king. C. The royal robes were taken from Haman. D. A plot of land among the king's vineyards. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Xerxes' signet ring. Esther, chapter 8, verse 2. The king took off his signet ring, which he had reclaimed from Haman, and presented it to Mordecai. This act not only symbolized Mordecai's elevated status, but also empowered him to issue a counter-decree that ensured the survival of the Jewish people. Question 18. What did King Xerxes commission Esther and Mordecai to do after the death of Haman? A. Setting all the Jews free to return to the land of Israel. B. To invite all the Jews of the kingdom to a royal banquet. C. Write another decree on behalf of the Jews in the king's name. D. To pursue the house of Haman as Haman had plotted against the Jews. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Write another decree on behalf of the Jews in the king's name. Esther, chapter 8, verses 7 to 8. Now write another decree in the king's name in behalf of the Jews as seems best to you, and seal it with the king's signet ring. For no document written in the king's name and sealed with his ring can be revoked. King Xerxes commissioned Esther and Mordecai to draft a new decree, countering Haman's earlier edict to ensure the Jews' safety. Question 19. Who was summoned to help Mordecai write the new decree to save the Jews? A. The king's scribes. B. The royal secretaries. C. The royal wise men. D. All the head officials of the provinces. You get 10 seconds. That's B, the royal secretaries. Esther, chapter 8, verse 9. At once the royal secretaries were summoned. On the 23rd day of the 3rd month, the month of Sivan, they wrote out all Mordecai's orders to the Jews. Mordecai summoned the royal secretaries to assist in drafting the new decree that would counteract Haman's harmful edict and secure the safety of the Jewish people. Question 20. How did Mordecai seal his dispatch overcoming Haman's former edict? A. With the royal insignia in wax. B. With the king's signet ring. C. With the signature of the king. D. With clay from the royal garden. You get 10 seconds. That's B, with the king's signet ring. Esther, chapter 8, verse 10. Mordecai wrote in the name of King Xerxes, sealed the dispatches with the king's signet ring, and sent them by mounted couriers, who rode fast horses especially bred for the king. Mordecai used the king's signet ring, a symbol of royal authority, to seal the new decree that counteracted Haman's earlier edict. Question 21. What were the colors of Mordecai's royal garments he wore in day when the city of Susa held a joyous celebration? A. Blue and white. B. Red and white. C. Yellow and blue. D. Green and yellow. You get 10 seconds. That's A, blue and white. Esther, chapter 8, verse 15. When Mordecai left the king's presence, he was wearing royal garments of blue and white, a large crown of gold and a purple robe of fine linen. and the city of Susa held a joyous celebration. Mordecai, in celebration of the Jews' deliverance, wore royal garments of blue and white, signifying the reversal of their fate. These colors represented the joy and triumph that replaced the earlier threat of annihilation. Question 22. After Mordecai wrote the new decree to save the Jews, what were the nobles, the governors, and the king's administrators' behavior toward him? A. Ignored and rejected. B. Feared and respected. C. Mocked and ridiculed. D. Mocked and rejected. You get 10 seconds. That's B, feared and respected. Esther chapter 9, verses 3-4. And all the nobles of the provinces, the satraps, the governors, and the king's administrators helped the Jews because fear of Mordecai had seized them. Mordecai was prominent in the palace. His reputation spread throughout the provinces, and he became more and more powerful. This detail demonstrates the profound impact of Mordecai's actions and the respect he commanded among the leadership. Question 23. Why did Mordecai write letters to all the Jews throughout the provinces of King Xerxes? A. To celebrate and return to the land of Israel. B. To get them not to bury the bodies on the Sabbath. C. To get them to not take the plunder of those they killed. D. To celebrate annually on the 14th and 15th of Adar. You get 10 seconds. That's D. To celebrate annually on the 14th and 15th of Adar. Esther chapter 9, verses 20-21. Mordecai recorded these events, and he sent letters to all the Jews throughout the provinces of King Xerxes, near and far, to have them celebrate annually the 14th and 15th days of the month of Adar. Mordecai wrote letters to instruct all Jews in the provinces of King Xerxes to commemorate the victory over their enemies annually on the 14th and 15th of Adar. Question 24. What was to be done on the day of celebration as ordered by Mordecai? A. Engage in public debates. B. Abstain from all festivities. C. Give presents of food to one another and gift to the poor. D. Walk around the walls of the city they inhabit to celebrate their freedom. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Give presents of food to one another and gift to the poor. Esther chapter 9, verse 22. As the time when the Jews got relief from their enemies, and as the month when their sorrow was turned into joy and their mourning into a day of celebration, he wrote them to observe the days as days of feasting and joy and giving presents of food to one another and gifts to the poor. This practice emphasizes generosity, community, and compassion. Question 25. Why was Mordecai held in esteem by the Jews as recorded in Esther chapter 10? A. Because he was recognized by King Xerxes. B. Because he destroyed Haman, the enemy of the Jews. C. Because he told Esther about the plot to kill the Jews. D. Because he worked for the good of his people. You get 10 seconds. That's D, because he worked for the good of his people. Esther, chapter 10, verse 3. Mordecai the Jew was second in rank to King Xerxes, preeminent among the Jews, and held in high esteem by his many fellow Jews, because he worked for the good of his people and spoke up for the welfare of all the Jews. Mordecai's esteemed status among the Jews stemmed from his selfless dedication to the welfare of his people. Oh wow! What an incredible journey we've just concluded, unraveling the life of Mordecai in the Bible. Now, it's your turn to shine. I'm genuinely excited to hear about the insights you've gained and the reflections sparked by our exploration. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Share your quiz results and the profound lessons you've discovered as we navigated through the triumphs and challenges of Mordecai's extraordinary life. If you found this exploration both enlightening and enjoyable, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends and family. Let's ignite conversations and create a ripple effect of understanding, appreciating the timeless lessons embedded in the narratives of the Bible. Thank you for being an active participant in this enlightening adventure. Let's keep the conversation alive, continue sharing, and never stop learning. See you soon on our next exploration.